Here's the birthday boy. Damon, how old are you?
3.
Yeah. A lot of families don't have the dynamic of what we had as far as being able to be tight and spend as much time together as we possibly could.
What's your name? Devin.
Devin was kind of like a little stunt man. He, at 2 years old, would do a backflip off a diving board. You know, he was just not afraid of anything. Where Damon was just the opposite. He wouldn't go upstairs without an adult.
They were as different as night and day. Devin was always trying to make everybody laugh. He was always doing funny things, making silly faces. Damon was still at the age where he would let me hold him still. Oh, God. I miss him so much.
The Routiers were a typical family. They were young. Darlie was a stay-at-home mom and was very involved with her children, and they were just a normal family. Darlie was viewed by those who knew her as a very doting mother, and the Routier house was kind of a gathering place in the neighborhood.
All the kids wanted to come there. Darlie always had popsicles and goodies for them. She was just a real, fun-loving, caring person.
Going to Florida in 2 days. I can't wait.
She was just fun. You know, she was fun to be around. She was just one of those natural beauty kind of people.
Darlie was not that different than a lot of Dallas women you would come across. She had frosted hair, cherry lipstick, painted fingernails. They had met in Lubbock at the Western Sizzling Steakhouse.
I was working there, and Darin was like an assistant manager. And he said that he heard that I had a beautiful daughter. And I said, I do have a beautiful daughter.
She walked in the room and I was just smitten. People would fall over themselves when they saw her. And she never realized it, she never knew it.
It really has, they just kind of love at first sight.
I believe she got pregnant on her honeymoon because she had Devin right about 9 months later.
And off they come to Dallas. And Darin started his own electronics company.
When I got off of work, we would sit down on the couch and just start making parts. So Tesnic was born.
Tesnic was a company that made circuit boards, and pretty quickly, Darin and Darlie made pretty good money from that business.
Hi, I'm here. There's the beach. There's the beach. Going on the cruise ship.
They were making money for the first time in their lives. He loved treating Darlie. They spent $130,000 on a new home in Rowlett. Darin bought a used Jaguar. He bought a 30-foot cabin cruiser to cruise on the nearby Lake Ray Hubbard. He was loving his life.
The Routiers seemed to have everything until one night in June of 1996.
When I went to sleep, everything was perfect. When I woke up, it's been a nightmare ever since.
School had been out. The boys wanted to sleep downstairs, like a little camp out. I had decided I was gonna sleep downstairs with the boys.
What woke you up?
My little boy, Damon. He was pressing on my shoulder, and he was saying, Mommy. And it's like I sat straight up when he said that. And I saw the guy starting to walk away from me.
Darlie has always maintained that there was a man in the house that night.
Darlie says that strange man attacked her.
I could see like the outline of a man that was going through the end of the living area into the kitchen. There was a sound of glass breaking. I stood up and I started to walk to the kitchen, and there was a knife laying down on the ground right outside the utility room. I picked it up. It was just like an instinct. And at that time, I could see Devin laying face up. And I flipped on the lights, and I remember screaming and screaming for Darin.
I run down the stairs, and she meets me at the bottom of the stairs. She was trying to tell me that Devin is hurt. Devin. I mean, she just, the look on her face is just startling.
911, what is your emergency? Ma'am? They just stabbed me and my children. What? They just stabbed me and my children. Who did?
I get over to Devin and I start doing CPR. I start blowing into his mouth, and the first time I blew into his mouth, air comes out of his chest. And I look out across the room, and Damon is laying on his tummy. He's not responding to me either. He's just kind of laying there, kind of moaning.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an ambulance to you. Oh, my God, my babies are dying. Oh, my God.
Darin was trying to save him.
Hold on, honey. Hold on. Hold on.
I told him to hold on. I told him to be strong. And he said, okay, Mommy. That was the last words I ever heard him say.
I was sleeping at my house in Plano. When I went to get the phone, it was a woman who lived across the street from Darlie. And she started screaming and telling me that Devin and Damon were dead and Darlie was probably dead.
The female adult, along with the 4-year-old, were transported to Baylor, Dallas for treatment. The 4-year-old was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital.
Before I could see her, I could hear her screaming. She rounded the corner, and she was just covered in blood, head to toe. As soon as I thought that perhaps there was an arterial bleed in her neck, we rushed her to surgery.
She had a gash on her arm that cut to the bone, and she had a slash across her throat that very narrowly missed her carotid artery. She very nearly died that night.
We were at Darlie's side, and she was a little bit groggy from just having the surgery. And she wanted to touch the boy's picture and just cry and cry. And she was asking, why, God? Why my boys? Why my boys?
To describe it as a heinous crime is an understatement. 7-year-old Devin.
It was front page news for days. People were sucked into this mystery. How could this have happened, and who did it?